Welcome to Becoming the Godly Wife and Studying Important Doctrine Series, Part 12 of 12. Admittedly, this is a man doing the presentation, but my job here tonight is to facilitate what God's Word has to say. And I want to make sure I put that right out in the beginning. So that's very important here. I do not want to take the place of the Lord, but we're going to teach you guys how to study this topic, and it should be very rich indeed. To give you an idea of what we're going to cover tonight, here's our 12 topics. We're going to look at essential resources for digging deeper. We're going to look at how to define a wife through word studies, find key topics and verses related to wives, get a list of passages, checking topical dictionaries, manners, customs, searching the library, searching collections, special phrases to search. We're going to identify and understand the key passages related for wives, who are the greatest successes as wives, as well as the greatest failures. Specific lists of warnings and priorities for wives will help you study that, how to go deeper and further study, illustrations, sermons, how to use them, and then getting practical, and then we'll talk about just some basic applications summarizing kind of what we've learned tonight. So this promises to be a full and enriching study for whether you are a man or a woman, single or married. And we are getting close to wrapping up this year's series of webinars. As you can see, we've got one more. I need to adjust that. The 1210 is going to be, it's not going to be the Psalms, but it's changed. So we'll see that in a moment here. Free live training, as you know, is done 3 times a month, typically first, third, and fourth Monday of every month. Let's see. So right now we're looking at November 26th, a week from yesterday, and that's going to be on Pulpit Notes, how to organize your research for teaching and preaching. So if you want to learn about all those great tools and how to organize your information, that's a webinar you don't want to miss. Then on December 3rd, we're going to do using Logos' new iPad and iPhone application. So I'm very excited to kind of update that webinar. And then December 10th is not on Psalms, but on Heaven and What the Bible Teaches series, a new series we're kicking off going into the new year. Very excited about that one. You can sign up at LearnLogos.com/webinar. And Sylvia just wanted to mention that point number 7 was wow. So let me go back there real quick. And yeah, specific lists and warnings and priorities. Definitely a wow factor there. The webinars you can take home on sale for $4.99, a great value for customized training. Over at the right, you can see our DVD training. Now, just a quick reminder on that. As you know, Logos 5 just released several weeks ago. I'm working as a mad dog trying to get all that ready. Trying to get some videos releasing this Black Friday. Just a quick overview for any of you who bought the training prior to October. You're going to get a substantial discount on the all completely redone training. And then for those of you who have not bought the training but are buying it in October or November, you're going to get that upgrade for free. Since you bought it literally on the heels of 5.0, there's no point to have a double penalty. So all the training, this is really key, all the 4.0 training is completely compatible with Logos 5. There's been some additions. I did a webinar called, and you can see that on the homepage on the Logos 5 features. That's a great little gap fill until I complete the full redone training. And just continue to pray for me because this is a lot of work to get it done in a short time. And the webinar link for this webinar, download link and purchase link, will go out in the next 24 hours if something goes wrong within 48 hours. So you'll get that email via download link. The Study Important Doctrine series is wrapping up tonight. Can you believe it? We've done this for over a whole year. And here's just I think that's 3, 6, 9, 12. That's a picture of all of the topics. And you can get that together as a bundle, and that'll be available made tomorrow at a discount as well. So take advantage of that as well. And let's see. So let's get started. I'm very thrilled looking at the resources. It's been very fascinating to have done the husbands one first and then to come over and do the wives and looking and comparing at how you would study and the resources and so forth. So let's go back to Logos. And as a quick reminder, every this webinar and many of the previous ones now are including a personal book that has all the links and many of my notes and so forth. So this comes free with the purchase of the webinar and makes it so much easier to just watch the training and utilize it. And since it's integrated into Logos, it can take advantage of all the Logos tools and features. So I want to preface with some of these resources, and it's been very tricky. You've got different. The women's, many of these are Bible studies. Many of these come from different denominational backgrounds. And so this is not necessarily an endorsement of each one per se, but just to make you aware of what's out there. And so I just want to put that preface out there. So if any of you have any comments because you've used these resources, feel free to put those in there and I'll share those with the audience. So, but I picked these based on just their uniqueness. And some of these I am very familiar with as well, and the authors, so I wanted to make sure we address those too. Here's one called Women of Valor, and this is a unique resource because it deals with Proverbs 31, but bringing in the contemporary perspective. And so I really kind of like that angle on it. Let me go ahead and open it so you can take a look at it. And so what you can see here is she'll take various Proverbs, Proverbs 31, and various sections, various verses from it, and begin to walk through 19 chapters. So from being a beloved daughter, intimate spouse, nurturing friend, and so forth. And as you can see, there's a lot of cross-references. It's a nice narrative feel to it, and I think you'll enjoy that. So kind of neat the way she's brought in Proverbs 31 into the 21st century. So great little resource there. This next one, Beautiful in God's Eyes, let me go ahead and open up that one, is produced by Elizabeth George. Now, I know Elizabeth George, not personally, but I know her husband, who I've met personally. When I went off to seminary, he was working in the seminary there, and I got to meet him and so forth. And I do trust these resources very well and give them high marks. So very pleased with just her perspective and her sturdiness and so forth. So anything by Elizabeth George is going to be a really good resource. And just to open one of those up to give you a perspective, these are put out by Harvest House, same publishers that put out Loving, Learning, How to Be Trustworthy, Loving Your Children, Being Chaste, Being Homemakers. So some really neat cross-references there, getting you right to the heart of the matter. And then there's some additional resources out there. Again, a new topical textbook. You can see here that there's quite a bit of information for the wife. Look at these different topics, 5, 6. We'll look at this one in a little bit, but the good and bad exemplified. And then the Manners and Customs can be very helpful. This book, Manners and Customs of the Bible, by J.I. Packer and a few other authors, is really neat because it actually deals with family relationships. Okay, so there's a background here, and then when you scroll down, we get to the family unit. There's husband and there's wife. And if we click on wife, there's a whole section here talking about manners and customs and so forth. And so this can be very helpful in just gaining some background and so forth. Okay, and look at this. We get some great cross-references in Psalm 128. Your wife shall be a fruitful vine within your house, your children like olive plants around your table. So you go look at that context and so forth. So pretty neat. So that's Manners and Customs. And then let me give you a couple additional searches that you could use. Let me go ahead and just kind of close all these resources and give us some room. And you could do a search like this. Do search, basic search, entire library, but this time use the heading search. Okay. Now the advantage of the heading search is it's going to narrow your search results to only those articles where wife is in the heading. Now this can be a major heading like the wife in Encyclopedia of 77 Illustrations, or it can be a subtitle like here. Here we have the main topic, Evangelical Missions Quarterly, but then we have a dowry in Africa, a wife purchased or a wife cherished, with some resources here. And this again is a bibliography resource, so you're going to get a lot there. But if we just did a search on the word wife, watch the number of resources skyrocket. Went from 600 to 235,000. So this little heading search that we just ran, and by the way, I'm clicking the little triangle over here, and that'll allow me to open up my recent search history, and that way I can bring it right back to me in a matter of moments. So that's really handy. And so you can see here with 800 results, not 600, a substantial decrease from hundreds of thousands. So be aware of that capability and the importance. Now, some of the resources that are going to come back, just wanted to hit a few of these. Here we have Anchor Yale's Bible Dictionary. All right, and we have the family. And if we scroll down, you can see marriages in here and so forth. And so we can go there and learn about marriages and wives and so forth. Another one that you'll find in these search results is the Baker Encyclopedia of the Bible. And here we have family, life, and relations. And biblically, the term family is interchangeable with house. Now, that's a great insight that you can use now to study in the Old Testament. So you would do house of, and then you could see all the different heads of families and so forth. For example, Ezra dealing with the families there. So pretty cool. Another resource that would have some information is like the Emmaus Journal, part of the Theological Journal collection. And here we have this article, which is dealing with, let me scroll up here, let me illustrate the wife's response. I've heard a wife saying to her husband, leave your work at the office, don't bring those troubles home to me, and so forth. And it talks about how to counsel if a situation. The wife helps her companion and head by making a home for him and her children. She's the hearth where he finds asylum from the cold world where he works. And so we got a little quote there and so forth. And this was from Barnhouse, this man and this woman, and so forth. And so just some neat insights from the search results. And then, of course, the Bible itself. When you search on headings, you get something like this, wives and husbands. And so that can be very, very helpful. And Sylvia just wanted to make a comment how this is very practical. It is. So when you do headings wife, in fact, let me do that again. Sometimes, let's see, let me put in the word wives. Yeah, it doesn't always work with, we might have to do all Bible text to get all that and so forth. So if you basically put the Bible in the, let me do it this way. Let me do NASB. It's a little tricky for searching titles in the Bible. So you have to do it through the Bible search, and that can be a way to bring it up. So here you go. There's Elkanah and his wives, okay? And so that's one way to sometimes search for titles in a Bible. I'm not quite sure why, if I go back here, why, oh, this was the ESV, my mistake. So let me go to ESV, and there we go. And so now I do wives on the Bible. This is pretty cool. You can see I'm searching on the Bible, and I'm searching basic, and so now I'm getting all the headings in the ESV where wives are mentioned. Pretty cool, huh? So this makes it fun because now you're searching on sections in the Bible that may not mention the word wife, but because the content that follows the titles are about wives, you can get those pretty quickly. So, and every Bible is a little bit different, all right? So if we do NASB, we only got one. If we do, let's say New King James Version, let's try that one, New King James Version, and we could search that one, we get only 3. So what we could do is we could do a search on a collection of all our Bibles. So watch this. I have a collection called Bibles, and let's see here. I've got quite a few. I've got Bibles English. So now I'm searching all my Bibles in English, and now I'm getting a list of all the titles, subtitles in the Bibles that mention wives. And so this will be much more comprehensive than just searching any single Bible. And because each Bible is going to title these slightly different, this is the best way to get all of the possibilities. So pretty cool in searching on the headings. Okay, now of course searching collections is always a great strategy. In my personal book that is supplied with the purchase of this webinar, I've given those to you. So let me bring it in and show you here. So for example, here is a collection on marriage and family. And here's the rule that you can copy and paste into the collection. So let me open up collections. Let me open up marriage and family and pull that up, and so you can see there is the rule. And then underneath it will be a series of books based on the books in your library that are fulfilled by that rule. So these collections I've given to you to just guide you in creating these collections. Plus I've given you some searches. So by having a collection, let's do the first example, marriage and family. We're narrowing our search now. So I'm just going to do wife. So instead of searching the whole library and dealing with those hundreds of thousands of search results, we can focus just on books dealing with marriage and family. And that will give you some really good refined resources. You can see here we've got a list of all the books, and then you can go through there individually. You'll see also that we could do a search on a theology collection and searching on certain words like this one. Let me run this search. Okay, so I'm going to click on search, and then make sure though that you remember to select the particular collection. These links do not do not select the collection for you. You have to do that manually. So here's some great search results. 22. We look for wife within 10 words of Proverbs 31:10, and we got back some theology books dealing with this particular issue. Okay, so very helpful there. I won't do any more, but you could search the theological journals, and here's some more searches like Ephesians 5:25, or searching for the heading of the heading wife in the journals. Let me run that one. That's a really good one to run. And so here is a list of all the theological journals with the heading of wife. So this is